Ladies and gentlemen, it's Sunday, the second day of the month, second day of May. Coming up to May Day, coming up to May the 6th elections. We've got local crime commissioners, local mayor. So make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you make your vote counted. We're talking about UK politics, talking about criminology. The world has gone mad. The world has gone absolutely mad, ladies and gentlemen. It's Proclamation News and Gatherings. I am the prodigious, the prominent professor at PNG. Shaken, not stirred. 2 sugars, please, Bob. Anyway, as we're moving on, thank you. I just want to thank you, everyone, for coming through today. This can be an absolute phenomenal show today. Absolutely. In the headline today, children will suffer. Unicef warns as UK funding cut by 60%. UK funding by 60%. The government is to cut 60% of its funding to Unicef. The United Nations Children's Fund as part of its move to reduce spending on foreign aid. It means the UN agency, which distributes humanitarian aid to children around the world, will get 16 million this year, down from 40 million. UNICEF warned of serious consequences for children, particularly those affected by COVID-19. The Foreign Office has said the pandemic has forced to make tough decisions. The government announced last year it would cut UK aid spending from 0.7% of national income to 0.5%, which amounts to a reduction of more than 4 billion. Some MPs defended the cuts at a time as being backed by the public, with some politicians arguing that domestic spending should come first during the pandemic. Thank you, everyone on Castbox coming through. Brandon, Mark, Lisa, Houston, Seth, Matt, Elisa, and Queen. Thank you very much. Some MPs defend the cuts at the time as being backed by the public, with some politicians arguing that domestic spending should come first during the pandemic. Do you think UK is right putting their own before others in a sense? Or do you think it's unfair? I mean, we are trying to make equalities, so everyone gets a fair crack at the whip. So they are trying to support as you can see, with legal aid. Not legal aid, but we're trying to help these poor countries out. You can see there have been 40 million they're putting in, but now they've decided to put a cut to 60 million to afford the pandemic. We're having a public austerity ourselves in our own country, and now we've got to subsidise our losses, perhaps. This cut is the latest to be announced as aid charities and agencies begin to reveal the impact of the government's reduced overseas development budget. In a statement, the UK Committee for UNICEF said it was deeply concerned by this decision. It said the agency has been able to respond to the most pressing education, protection and health needs of children affected by COVID in 2020, thanks to the UK government funding. It went on to say it was too soon to know the full impact of this future, the cuts of the UNICEF programme, but there was a concern children living in some of the world's worst crises and conflicts would suffer the consequences. The UNICEF acknowledged the challenging financial situation facing governments, but called on the UK government to return the spending to 0.7% of the national income on foreign aid from 2022 at the latest. The necessary decision. A spokesperson for the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office said, the seismic impact of the pandemic on the UK economy has forced us to take tough but necessary decisions, including temporarily reducing the overall amount we spend on aid. We will still spend more than 10 billion for this year to fight poverty, tackle climate change and improve global health. Earlier this week, the BBC obtained an internal Foreign Office memo which said funding for global water, sanitation and hygiene bilateral projects will be cut by more than 8%, prompting criticism from leading charity water aid. It also emerged that the United Nations Global Family Planning Programme would not receive 154 million for its projects, as pledged by the UK, and would instead get about 23 million this year. Asked about the cuts, Prime Minister Boris Johnson said the government had always been clear it intended to return to spending 0.7% of national income on aid when it was fiscally prudent to do so. Thank you all for coming through on YouTube. Countering distortion. Separately, UK government has given the BBC World Service 8 million to help tackle disinformation and inaccurate news reporting around the world. Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab said it would allow the BBC to take impartial journalism to many more people around the world by countering those who distort the truth to mislead the public. Money comes on top of the previous funding for the BBC's World 2020 programme, which was launched in 2016 and aims to expand the BBC's global reach. BBC Director General Tim Davies said, through the programme, the World Service has achieved an all-time record audience of 351 million in 42 languages, with the BBC's global news service on reaching 438 million every week. Let's have a little bit of an evaluation of our help in taking a pay cut in their foreign aid to help subsidise these poor countries. I mean, my heart condolences go out to these families. You don't know what they're up against. You know, you look at places like Haiti, Venezuela, some of the poorest countries in the world, and we help out to subsidise their hunger, their water drought. It's a tragic. I mean, you can't put a fascist, selfish statement in place of their loss, but we are also having a public. We remember we are having public austerity, having a strain in our own government funding as it is at the moment. So unfortunately, it's part and parcel of this austerity that we're going to have to do. We're going to have to cut back on some funds. Could we cut back on our infrastructure to support these families instead, or cut back on professional sports athletes' money, perhaps? But then it'd take the sport away, wouldn't it? It'd take the actual sport away from the athletes. Would they want to turn up? How can we subsidise these poor families? We don't want to see these children go hungry, do we? Die of starvation. Anyway, we're going into criminology, mens rea habilitations, absolute provocation caused throughout Essex. Today's show is going to be one of the best shows we've had in a long, long time. I hope you appreciate it. We do. Essex Crime. 2 men rush to hospital after fighting in Dagenham Street. The men required hospital treatment and both have been arrested following the incident. The 2 men have been rushed to hospital and subsequently arrested following a street fight this morning, Sunday, May the 2nd. Emergency services rushed to Station Parade, Dagenham, at around 7 a.m. following reports of an altercation. Oh, listen, you don't get much more fresh flux news than this. Much more fresh flux news than this. 7 a.m. When officers arrived at the scene, they found 2 men, aged in their 20s, 30s, who had been injured in a fight. They were taken to hospital for assessment of their injuries. The 2 men were arrested on suspicion of causing grievous bodily harm, GBH. The Metropolitan Police Service confirmed that nobody else was involved in the altercation, but the road remained closed at 8:30 a.m. this morning. See, just something as small as something as selfish as a little fight can cause absolute mayhem. They shut off the road. So if anyone, anyone's family member had to get rushed to hospital, they couldn't because the road got closed off because of these 2 absolute juveniles. We've only got these 2 idiots to thank. A spokesperson for Met Police said part of the footpath at Station Parade, JW Godara Way, is currently closed while we deal with a GBH that occurred at 7 a.m. this morning. 2 suspects arrested and currently receiving hospital treatment for injuries received during the altercation. A spokesperson for the Met Police said part of the footpath at Station Road is closed to deal with a GBH occurring 7 a.m. this morning. I know if anyone does know of the incident, please come forward to Proclamation News and Gavins. Tell me what you see. It's horrendous, isn't it? There's not enough metropolitan lunatic asylums for these people. Why do they have to have a fisticuff in the town centre? But better than a stab wound, I suppose. Harlow stabbings. Teenage boy rushed to hospital after being stabbed in a residential street. Essex police are appealing for information. But then again, you know, we see many videos of the police. There's one the other day, I think it's in just out of Essex. Police arrested a man. He punched a man. There's about 8 of them. One of the men punched a guy straight in the face. It's happened to me. There's no need for them to use level 2 force if you're not fighting back against them. No need to use level 2 force. No one's a threat to the police. I think someone give it the big I am. Oh, we're going to have to whack him because, you know, he's not giving up there. Maybe he's not guilty. Maybe he doesn't feel he's guilty. Why punch him? No need for it. A teenage boy has been rushed to hospital after being stabbed in broad daylight in a residential street in Essex. Emergency services rushed to Sharpcroft in Harlow shortly after 4 p.m. yesterday, following reports of a stabbing. The teen required hospital treatment for his stab wound, but thankfully his injuries have been deemed not life-threatening. No arrests have been made, and police inquiries are ongoing to find the suspect, who was described as wearing all black clothing and black trainers. Essex police have urged anyone who witnessed the incident or has information relating to IT to come forward. I mean, I must admit, if it's a drug, you know, someone on suspicion of taking drugs, you don't know what they've got in their pocket. So the police are going to act evidently to, you know, whatever's in front of them. A spokesperson at Essex Police said, "We are appealing for witnesses and footage after a teenage boy was stabbed in Harlow. We were called with reports of an incident in Sharpcroft shortly after 4 p.m. yesterday, Saturday, May the 1st. It was reported that a teenage boy has been stabbed. He suffered injuries that required hospital treatment. Thankfully, his injuries are not life-threatening. No arrests have been made, and our inquiries are ongoing. The suspect is described as wearing all black clothing as well as black trainers." If you do know anything, please call 101 and cite incident 77 of today, May the 1st. Or Crime Stoppers, you can call 100% Anonymous on 0800 555 111. Don't feel afraid. If you know something about any crime, don't feel afraid to pick up the phone. You're not a grass. You're probably saving the day of another idiot making another victim in life in jeopardy. Essex Crime. Man robbed at knifepoint at Waltham Abbey McDonald's drive-thru. Police are appealing the information following the incident. Hope you're enjoying the show, guys. The driver has been robbed at knifepoint at Essex McDonald's drive-thru. The male driver was waiting in line in his car at the McDonald's in the Hybrid Retail Park, Waltham Abbey, when he was approached by another man on foot at around 9 p.m. on Thursday, April 15th. He was threatened by a pedestrian through his car window with what is believed to be a knife and stole the driver's watch. The pedestrian is described as being white, in his early 20s and around 6 foot tall. He was wearing a yellow high visible jacket and a hooded jacket with a face covering, ski mask and blue cycling helmet. He is believed to have left the area in the direction of nearby Waltham Cross. Essex police are now appealing for information following a robbery in Waltham Abbey. Essex have now urged anyone with the information to come forward. Anyone who may know the individual witnessed the incident or anyone may have the dashcam footage from this time is asked to contact us on 101 Crime Reference 4269035521. You can also submit a report online or use live chat button to speak to an online operator between 7 a.m. and 11 p.m. To submit anonymously, contact Crime Stoppers 0800 Mr. Dip 555 111. You guys know what's going on in them regions. Please don't hesitate to call through. So much absolute men's rehabilitation going on throughout Essex at the moment. This is some good news about the COVID. You know, it's almost coming to an end. How you doing, buddy? Yeah, no, PK. Oh, you want to do PK? Yeah, give me about 15 minutes, Dips. I'll be with you. I've just got to finish my last put the radar. 15 minutes, I can do one. COVID quarantine for COVID contacts could be scrapped. Police may not need to self-isolate if they've been in close contact with someone with COVID, if a new trial is successful. The government-backed research will trial giving people daily lateral flow tests for 7 days instead of quarantine for 10. So long as they test negative a week, they can carry on with their lives. It comes as a Foreign Secretary said the country was in good position to end almost all restrictions on the 21st of June. But Dominic Raab told BBC One's Andrew Marsh show, we need to keep track of the variant and trafficking the evidence as the UK gradually reopens. He said some safeguards may need to remain beyond the end of June, which could involve some use of the mask or social distancing. But the goal was to get life back as close back to as normal as possible. From May the 9th, about 40,000 close contacts of people with COVID in England will be invited to take part in the study, replacing quarantine with daily testing. Self-isolating means staying at home and not leaving it, not even to buy food or medicines or for exercise. As part of this major new study, people will have to test themselves every morning for 7 days and will be exempt from the legal requirement to quarantine. At home every day, they test negative as long as they do not show any symptoms of COVID. Lateral flow tests give results in about 30 minutes, but are considered less sensitive than PCR. Polymerase chain reaction tests, which are processed in laboratory, which results returned in 24 hours or so. What are the current self-isolation rules? You usually have to self-isolate for 10 days if you tested positive or been in close contact with someone who has. Close contact includes being with 2 meters of someone or more than 15 minutes, or within 1 meter for a minute. You might need to self-isolate for longer if you get the symptoms. People told to self-isolate are not allowed visitors and are not allowed to leave their home. Between May 20 and April 2021 in England, more than 6.7 million close contacts were reached and told to self-isolate. NHS test and trace data shows just that. A larger study of the test and trace system published last month found low numbers of people had followed the isolation rules in full terms. Men younger people and parents with children were less likely to self-isolate, as were those from working class backgrounds, people in financial hardship and key workers. Common reasons for not fully self-isolating included going to the shops or work for a medical need, to care for a vulnerable person, to exercise or meet others, leaning nice wheels, or because symptoms were only mild or getting better. A step too far or price worth paying. UK regulatory has always cautioned against the use of lateral flow tests in this way. The concern is that they are not accurate enough. Certainly not used at the home to correctly identify enough positive cases. How you doing, girl? Yeah, I'm good, thank you, mate. How are you? So while they're given the green light, the mass testing which are currently being used for the bases, they could pick up some cases which were not being identified previously. We've been up to Beanie. Deploying them to allow close contact to avoid isolation was deemed a step too far. But the vaccination program has changed the equation by reducing the risk from COVID. It means it was proportionate needs to be reassessed, asking people who come in close contact to self-isolate at significant cost to the individual. It is right when the risk of COVID is lower than it once was, and will people continue to self-isolate given the changing landscape, except in some cases will slip through the net and could be a price worth paying. The trial will help understand what the price is. Professor Isabel Olivia, Public Health England's National Infection Service Director, said the study would be the key to informing how the approach to testing might evolve. Self-isolation is very challenging for some people, particularly those who aren't able to work from home or don't have access to readily available support or help from others. She told BBC Breakfast, "If this allows us to return to greater normality, it would be a great step forward." And drop my phone. It's not good when you drop your phone, guys. See, I'm live in front of a lot of people right now. No, not a lot, about just over 300. It allows the return to great normality. It would be a great step forward. She said the study needs to recruit such a large number of people who will be able to invite as part of the contact tracing process because infection rates are relatively low at the moment. As well as a daily lateral flow test, study participants will take more accurate PCR tests at the beginning and at the end of the trial period. They also take a PCR test if any of the daily tests given a positive result, and anyone testing positive will be required to self-isolate as normal during the trial. I don't know if any of you guys are, interested in politics. What could signing up to a government policy remain for you and your family? What do you follow? What's your politics? We go with traditions. A lot of us go with traditions. No matter what your age is, you could be 80. You go with your traditional values of your grandfather, whatever steps they followed. My grandfather was in World War II under Winston Churchill, conservative. I could have gone totally different direction if I wanted to, but no, I'm for that reason I am conservative through and through. So there you go. I'm neoliberalism, fair trade system, straight down the middle. I don't know what your political views are, but I'm going to give you the uptake. If you do join a conservative government, it might be similar if you go for your own type, but you're not getting the same values. But I'm just going to give you what happens if you sign up to a government policy. Conservative. What happens if you sign up to Conservatives? Not going to bore you to tears, but listening means a lot to everyone listening because it gives you some idea of what politics is all about. Under 26, you can sign up for the Conservatives for just £5 a year. Standard membership for 25s and over. It's £25 a year. Members can play an active role in the party, can attend our annual conference and receive voting rights in party elections after 3 months of membership, all from £25 per year or just £2 a month. I can't afford the £25 a year, but I'd rather pay just the £2 a month. Doesn't bother me. You don't know if it's gone out your bank. What's £2 a month out your bank? Nothing, is it? You think how much you spend on alcohol or tea bags and milk. There you go. Just once a month is not the end of the world. Armed Forces, £15 a year. Standard party membership and all associated benefits is offered at a reduced rate for serving and former members of our armed forces. What your membership gets you. What does your membership get you? It helps us win elections. All of your subscription goes towards our campaigns. It gets the latest inside the party with regular member updates and exclusive member invites. Choose candidates and vote in leadership elections so you can choose the people you want to represent you. Influence party policy by giving feedback on policy briefs. Take part in our campaign groups. Like the Conservatives, Women Organisation or Young Conservatives, meet like-minded people. Meet like-minded people and make the difference to our country. As a member, you become part of your association, support local campaigns and attend social events with members just like you. Come to party conferences, join our MPs, councillors and activists in the biggest event of the Conservative calendar, stand for election. Members have the opportunity to stand for election as Conservatives. So if you decide that you want to take part in our democracy, you can. You know, what do you think I'm doing every day? You know, I'll do my radio majority of days. You know, methodically, majority of days. If I'm testing out my equipment to better my prosperity, I'll be prosperous when prosperity matters. So that's why I always try and get divine elevation. And if it means I have to get new equipment, I will dig deep and work for it. Anyway, Thursday, May the 6th, election is coming up in the Essex constituency. Anyway, let me tell you, all over the UK, in your local constituency, your county, you got police, fire and crime commissioner. But this is for Essex. We've got Colchester local election in Highwoods. We've got Essex local election, Mile End and Highwoods. Just giving you, I'll tell you who's up for election in my area. We've got Conservative and Unionist Party, Roger Hurst. Obviously, you got your Democrats, Labour and Cooperative Party and Lib Dems. They're all up for grabs. I'm not going to give you their vote because I'm Conservative. You can have a look yourself. Stephen John Rowe in Colchester, Conservative and Unionist Party. Election for Mile End and Highwoods. Talking about my constituency here. David Linghorn Baker, Conservative and Unionist Party. There's Reform UK, there's Green Party, Labour and Liberal Democrats. So the Police, Fire and Crime Commissioner is Roger Hurst. There you go, ladies and gents. That is all your updates. So you're updated, up to date. May the 6th election. 4 more days. What's your perspective? Who are you voting for? Are you Conservative? Why are you? That's what I'd like to know. Who are you? Oh, yes. Anyone suffering with any stress? I've got I can't remember the name of the website. I don't know if it's relaxation something, but that is what I'm going to be advertising in the forthcoming months as well. Stress related. Maybe you're not getting enough vitamins in your diet. Maybe you're not getting enough vitamins. Maybe you're doing a lot of heavy lifting. You need the right vitamins, or you need the right nutrition, vitamin C, vitamin D, all that kind of stuff. I'll be giving you the website to have a look up. And there's a massaging kit and all that kind of thing to help you out. If you're an independent trainer and you haven't got a sports masseuse to help you, it's cheaper to get your own equipment. Anyway, Proclamation News is proudly sponsored by PSS Alarms. Very ethical and pragmatic works carried out. All areas covered include central station monitoring provided. All work done according to insurance requirements. This is a friend of mine's company. Thank you ever so much for the gifts. Thank you ever so much. Bless you. Thank you so much. This friend of mine's company has carried out works in Harry Kane's stepmother's house in Hertfordshire. Potter's Bar carried out etiquette works in Essex, such as Casbah Restaurant and many more businesses. Please call Tariq Khan. His contact details are 07908 216 142. Bless your little heart. Thank you ever so much for them gifts. I'm going to have to give you a follow. Hit me in inbox. I'll give you a follow. 07908 216 142. Installation and maintenance of intruder alarms, fire alarms, CCTV. All work guaranteed and certified to SSARB standards. 24-hour call-out service. Can provide CCTV for pubs, clubs, restaurants, or new business setup. Secure your business. Mention Professor Johnson for an extra discount. Secure your home, secure your business. Your safety and priorities within your business are paramount to think safety, think first, secure your equity, secure your family. If you get burgled and you get attacked, if you ain't got cameras up, we're not going to find out who made the provocation inside your house, who left you distraught at the end of the attack, the robbery, the burglary. We're not going to find out. You need CCTV camera put up in outside your place. Absolutely. Make sure your family's safety is paramount. This is Proclamation News gathered, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming through. We've had Criminology, UK politics. This has been absolute phenomenal. Prodigious, remarkable. Exactly what prodigious means. Remarkable. Absolutely splendid. Thank you all so much for coming through. I am part of the Aristocracy Social League. Treat people how you like to be treated. Manners don't cost a thing, do they? Thank you all. Take care. I'm going to be back on tomorrow. I'm going to just keep these short shows because I feel like I've got more enthusiasm for a short show. Until I get people calling, I'm just waiting for this new platform, which is called, I can't tell you what it is, but it's going to be on YouTube, all in one, basically. So you can all come to one thing, you can all comment in the same place. And it'll be absolutely phenomenal. And I can't wait to see you. Take care. One love. God bless. Speak soon, my loves. Before we go, tried to paint a picture of Marilyn Monroe. It looks like a scary. It's like a scary picture of a scary woman. Her eyes a bit wonky and all that. She's got one eye down here, one eye up there. Oh my goodness. I'm going to get that put onto big canvas, see what happens. Because when you get them put onto bigger canvas, I can't see the canvas. Once it goes into big canvas, it might spread the face out, make it longer. It's just a short painting. You can't put a face in a short painting. Anyway, God bless. Take care. One love. Have a wonderful day. Don't forget May the 6th. May the 6th. 4 more days. So Thursday, May the 6th, I believe. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Yeah. 4 more days. Thursday. Take care. God bless. One love. Speak soon.